Tanglewood in 1946. It was great. For me, it was a whole new world that I discovered.
It was like a dream. First of all, the beauty of the place. And then there you were, all of us, in this place together. It was like, we were chosen.
I believe here we all get together to do this great opera, especially commissioned by Kusubitsky 50-some years ago. This spirit of we all taking risk for music like this is wonderful.
June 30th, 1946. A 19th century English fishing village comes to life at a music school in the hills of Massachusetts. The occasion, an important one for modern music. The great Serge Koussevitzky, founding director of the Berkshire Music Center at Tanglewood, chooses 28-year-old Leonard Bernstein to conduct the first opera by British composer Benjamin Britten, seen here at the piano.
Peter Grimes is a story of a man versus a town, an outcast versus his community. It's about a man who wants to belong, who is rooted in his home, and has become, for whatever reason, he's become an outcast.
I'm singing the role of Peter Grimes, which he is a very complicated character that each day we rehearse, I find out something new about him.
I'm singing the part of Captain Bulstrode, and he's one of the few sympathetic characters in the opera towards Peter.
Your boy was workhouse starved. Maybe you're not to blame, he died.
Picture what that day was like. That evil day, restrained into the wind heavily laden, we plunged into the waves' shuddering challenge.
Tony, I like that. Don't pull back so much of that evil day. So that is one statement. Picture what that day was like, that evil day. And then you need a big change before starting off on we strayed. Take it then right back, and you're in your thoughts.
Okay.
Yeah? And as beautiful as you can get it at the same time. Okay, can we go from the same place?
Your boy was workhouse starved. Maybe you're not to blame, he died.
What we have in common with the original production is that these are all students. And so that's a common thread for now, although I believe student singers now are infinitely more trained than student singers were 50 years ago. I mean, it's a whole new breed, you know, real thoroughbreds. So we have better chances, I think, than they did 50 years ago. Rumors have it that in the original production, 50 years ago, by the opening night, both tenors had lost their voices. And I mean, I hope that doesn't happen, you know, at this time.
In context, 1946, the war's over. All of us, many of us, I'm one, had just gotten out of the Army. Some, I was lucky, were musicians in the Army. Others were not. And we came back to start a normal life, whatever that meant, and to start our careers all over again and come back to school and come back to Tanglewood.
I just found myself sitting on a green lawn amongst a whole bunch of young, talented, marvelous people. After 4 years as a soldier, it was great to see all these pretty women and lust for them all.
It's not easy to remember 1946 in 1996. However, Tanglewood is unforgettable, and the impression was so wonderful. The hills, the beauty of the mountains, the lake, and of course, Kusevitsky.
Kusevitsky was great at spreading intensity. When he was vibrating, everybody vibrated with him, and
loved it.
And loved it. And he.
Well, Kusevitsky was truly in the grand manner. He wore a cape which he threw over his shoulders, you know, and of course he was always attended by, I don't know, dozens of people. Yeah, he just lifted a hand and everybody knew exactly what he wanted.
Yes, I'll never forget the speech that Kusevitsky made as an introduction to the grand premiere of Peter Grimes. He said, when Britten come to me, he says, this opera belong to you. But I said, no. It belonged to the world. Now, I want to remember you. He didn't know the expression remind you, so he said, I want to remember you. This is a student production. I do not say to excuse, just opposite.
You must realize, you see this now, fantastic setup, a great shed and building and a theater and beautiful ground. But that time, they had, because of the war, they had to stop this festival. So it was not established like this, but Kusevitsky had the guts. He took chance to and believe in this composer. So Britten was young, right? 30-some years old, never wrote opera. I think now we have to think those time, and we should not forget music is not safe thing, you know, must take risk, must be spontaneous and must go forward.
Breaks one heart, all hearts are broken, all are broken. We shall be there with thee. We shall be there with thee. We shall be with thee.
At the beginning of the opera, we learn that Peter has help from a lady named Ellen Orford, and we realize that Ellen Orford is determined to help Peter find a new life.
They talk of marriage, and Peter mentions in the opera that he wants to marry her. I think it's more, for both of them, a marriage of convenience, that they can get out of their current position in society and be respectable people again. And I think she certainly feels really like she can fix him and help him.
I was selected to do Ellen Orford in Peter Grimes, and I was very, very happy about it. It was early in my career when I came to Tanglewood, and it opened a lot of doors for me. Benjamin Britten was wonderful to work with and guided everybody very meticulously, and it was very meaningful for me to be working with him, and it was a milestone in my career.
The composer came from England in 1946, which wasn't so easily done, and I guess he didn't have a clue what Tanglewood was or what was in store for him. And what he came into, to his, I'm sure, horror, was something that resembled a summer camp, a bunch of kids running around doing his opera, not only his opera, but the American premiere of it. He had to put up with what I like to think of as it was a kind of Judy Garland, Mickey Rooney movie. It was one of those, we can do it, kids, you know, we'll put it on ourselves, no matter what.
First and second. Last quarter was too early. Aye.
Well, in one of the big chorus scenes, there was this catchy tune, Old Joe, and it was in a very odd rhythm, 7/4 time, and it took everybody a little bit to get to know it. But once they knew it, everybody was singing it everywhere. You could hear it all over the campus. All of the kids were in the chorus, and you hear it walking down the street in Lenox. There'd always be somebody from Tanglewood singing, Old Joe is going fishing, and young Joe is going fishing, and you know is going fishing.
Yes. French home. Just concentrate and organize, yeah? If you have a problem with this bar, what they do is very complicated. And the soloist says, oh, somebody's speaking. One, lolly, lolly. You know, that's very hard. So we have to be so tight. So I tell them to listen to us, you know, feel with us.
The cue, the introduction to it, is played on an E-flat timp, and it just scared the fool out of me. Every time I was listening, my ears were sticking out a foot to hear the timp down there.
Old Joe has gone fishing, and young Joe has gone fishing, and you know has gone fishing, and found them a shoal. Old Joe has gone fishing, and young Joe has gone fishing, and you know has gone fishing, and found them a shoal. Old Joe has gone fishing, and young Joe has gone fishing, and you know has gone fishing, and found them a shoal. All the meaning goes, and you know has fishing, and found them a shoal.
Well, it was such a catchy tune that most of the chorus would, every once in a while, we'd be walking through the beautiful grounds of Tanglewood, and before you know it, we'd say, Old Joe has gone fishing, and you know he's gone fishing, etc.
And everybody's coming in after this, and it's a round.
Bring them in sweetly, got them completely, pack them up neatly, sell them discreetly, and so it goes on. And then they all come in on that, and then there's variations, all away, all away.
All away. It's very intricate, very difficult, but everybody learned it, amazingly enough.
When I had gone fishing, when you had gone fishing, when he had gone fishing, we found us Davy Jones. Bring them with horror, bring them with terror, and bring them with sorrow. Oh,
I don't remember. Old Joe.
Old Joe has gone fishing. Young Joe has gone fishing. You know
he's gone fishing and found them a shoal. Weird little thing that.
None of us liked it.
Yeah.
Now, look at what I found. I've got to read this to you. Britten thought of Grimes as his most realistic opera, and the work was indeed in part born out of the tradition of social realism. Now, this is from this guy, Donald Mitchell, who talks about the first production. Now, I think this is the reason that the first productions were all that kind of vague, bizarre, realistic scenery that we've seen in some of these photos.
And how strongly do you feel about it?
Ah, no way.
Oh, good.
No way.
God.
I mean,
I don't see it as realistic at all. I mean, you know, realistic, the pieces that we have there should be realistic, don't you think? But I don't think they should be used in a realistic way.
Well, the thing to do I can't imagine how, when they did this original production, how they kept moving all these, you know, how they did scene changes. I don't have a clue.
Well, they're all pretty low.
Sarah, you get that picture from the Life magazine. This looks like it's out of some 50s television program.
Oh, it was, you know, pretty typical of what you get in that period.
I love this sort of thing.
Yeah,
nets.
those fishing nets are great.
We don't want the costumes to look like these,
No,
Sarah.
that I think our
production has to be
completely different. Yeah.
I mean, I think you have to do some real elements to it, because I'm going to have to ground the people in some sort of a reality. You know, there's going to have to be, you know, there has to be a certain amount of day-to-day activity that they can do.
We won't show the model to Seiji until it's pretty much finished. Of course, he has input, and if he says he'd like to change this or that or the other thing, I mean, we're not at all, you know, adverse to cutting it apart on the spot and gluing it back together for him. But we want him to be able to see it as it, I mean, it's not that he doesn't have the imagination to see the whole thing, but we want him to be able to actually see it the way it's going to be on stage.
I came up to visit my brother, Lenny, and even though I was only 14, I was somehow, I'm not quite sure how, but I blundered or was enlisted into helping out in the scenic department. And since I wasn't very talented at painting scenery, before I knew it, I was doing the lighting. I don't know why they let me have this heady responsibility, but they did.
This was my perch, high above the stage, and I had a pretty simple job. It was to pull on a rope like this. I can't demonstrate because this is fixed, but it was like this, to pull it up or lower it down, a big black curtain behind the sets. And there was a 30-second scene change at one point where they had to roll in a great big set from the side, and all of the cast had to come in. And the music was going, and the music didn't stop, so it had to be the whole thing done in that 30 seconds or else. And it was so exciting. And every time I hear that music, I think, are they going to make it? Are they all going to come in? Is that thing going to roll in on time? It was a terrific thing, and it's a memory that sticks with me. It's in my body, the excitement of that interlude. During the scene, I had nothing to do. I was able to crawl out the side, get up on the roof, and find this spot right down here where I could watch the whole thing from a terrific place. They're rehearsing.
The performance, of course, was conducted by Leonard Bernstein, who was an old friend of ours. He was a friend already from 1940 days. And that was a very, and before, yes, and that was a very special thing to have him conducting this performance.
Sitting under the pit like this, all I could see was Bernstein up on the podium just about there with the fantastic energy that he had. He drove us late into the nights. But it was just, it was a fantastic moment to think that a student orchestra was going to do this. And essentially a student conductor.
Lenny and I, we were very close, brothers, and right up to the very end, to the last concert he gave over there in the shed on that fateful day, his last concert ever, he had programmed sea interludes from Peter Grimes. And part of the reason I'm, I guess, honored to say was sort of for me. It was something he was doing for me because it was at Tanglewood, and it was something we had in common. It was just really the two of us. It was Peter Grimes, I dare say, of all the works of music, meant more to Lenny and me than anything else.
I was here 1960. I was here as a student, and I arrived for that. So I arrived first time in my life to come United States from Paris to Boston Airport. And I arrived here, and things that time already spirit was same. To me, what I learned here is what I did not know. I found right away. My teacher in Japan had very narrow area, very deep, but very narrow. That was his style. But here, must go so wide. So I had to do this. And of course, I opened up my ears and eyes for the opera, Mahler, Bruckner, all this music. I changed a lot after these 6 weeks here, 1960.
The first rehearsal was kind of really, I was really nervous because you don't know how he's going to be, you have no idea how he's going to connect.
He's one of the few conductors I've worked with that if he had no arms, you could look at his eyes and see exactly what he wanted.
He's from Japan and I'm from Brazil, and this is very interesting because sometimes the people that are in the festival, they'll be, I didn't understand what he said, but I did.
Now you know this is very funny spot. So it's really dance. All the canon, like dancing. So no rough, no, but like.
Drop it.
It's the exact measurement that we had decided earlier,
Yeah.
which means that, yeah, we need to move over. We need the big saw over here to take off, I would say, about 8 inches across the back.
There's a lot of things to coordinate, you know, with getting the electricity in over on stage left and getting the scenery in all at the same time, and one little narrow, passageway in which everything has to come into the grounds.
The second act takes place at Peter's hut, and Peter, in an absolute delirium of rage and mania, manic energy, gets the boy ready to go out in the boat. Previously, another apprentice of his had died, so the boy is dreadfully terrified. When you come up here with the tackle, up these big stairs, immediately this goes around your waist, and Tony, you should tighten it and sing in this direction. That'll be the best thing. Then Christopher, immediately, once that's on, you go over, like a bicycle, like going over a fence. Yeah, get yourself over. Yeah, go down like it's a ladder. Any way you want to go. He goes down. So Christopher, when you get down there, go right down into the trap. You got to go rather quickly so you're out of the way before the scream and the pull. Can we get somebody to pull the rope down there? Yeah. Okay, pull it as hard as you can. Watch it, everybody. Yes, that's the way it goes. Yes. Perfect.
Careful, or you break your neck. Down the cliffside to the deck. Up it's the stop down.
Have you ever screamed before?
When my brother, hits me or anything, yeah, I scream.
Okay.
But not in a shrill voice.
What I want you to do, you're going to have to scream for me, like on the count of 3, and it needs to be a long scream that fades away, like you're falling down a cliff.
All right.
But face away from me. Look over there, just so I don't have to hear it.
All
Okay.
right.
So now put yourself facing this direction. Get away from me, and now on 3, go. 1, 2, go. No, you gotta, come on, it's gotta trail off, come on. Ryan, you wanna try it? You ready? 1, 2, go. Oh my God. I don't know.
confess to me, I seal the deed and take no fee. My signature, your graceful mark, a witness by the unbending dark.
Tanglewood has decided to put in 2 young casts, which means you're dealing with 24 singers, about 12 singers in the cast of Grimes.
Usually I do 1 cast and 1 backup cast. And backup cast usually try to follow what the main cast do. This way is completely going this way. And interesting.
For 2 days I've kept my eyes open. For 2 days I've said nothing. Only watched and taken notes, piece clue to clue, and bit by bit reconstructed all the crime. Everything points to Peter Grimes. He is the murderer.
Old woman, you're far too ready to yell blue murder. If people poke their noses into others' business, no, they won't get me to help them. They'll find there's merry hell to pay. You just tell me where's the body.
The apprentice lies, whom nobody has seen for days.
I'm from Iceland, and I'm singing Mrs. Sadley, who is, if I may use that word, the village bitch.
I'm from Richmond Hill, Ontario, which is just north of Toronto in Canada, and I'm here to sing the role of Peter Grimes.
I'm Anna Maria Bogner from Germany, Munich, Bavaria. And I'm going to sing the role of Ellen Orford.
Okay. Think about why is it there?
Yeah, it's a cry. I mean.
Yeah, but a cry about what?
It's a cry about my whole life.
Okay.
I mean, everything that I've hoped for, she's just said, ain't gonna work.
Okay. Remember that your is way outside of you, okay? And it doesn't matter what kind of a sound you make. It's just energy coming from the center of the earth, right up, right up, right up, and out. There we are. That energy, everything in you is rage and disappointment coming all the way up and out. And your whole body will do that.
Okay.
Okay, you all take a rest. How about it? Okay, good scene, both of you.
All right. You want to try it one more time?
Yeah, do you want to just go from the slap? Okay.
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. I'm sorry.
Have you tried anything? Have you tried any slaps
Well,
at all?
sort of.
Okay. I favor that we do that. What you do is a very quick slap, and that you actually do get her hand. You don't get her face. And the way you do that is you come in here. We failed. We failed. And you see, you see where my hand is, and you're going to aim just right for the hand. Yeah. Just get this one little section.
Okay.
We failed. We failed. Okay. It's not so bad. You didn't protect the right side of the. You didn't get,
I picked the wrong side of my face.
You picked the wrong side of your face. Let's do one more time.
Good.
Yeah, man, good job.
I've spent a lot of my career working with big professionals who basically teach me everything that they know. And I've got a lot of people here who don't know so much, or at least they haven't had a lot of experience. So I'm a little nervous about that. They're expecting the answers to come from me.
I'm going to tell you this probably 1 billion times, but what you can't do in any of this is you really can't do any acting. Just keep doing simple, straightforward activity, no fake conversation, all right? You know, because it doesn't need that, all right? Okay, let's start from the beginning again.
Curtain going up.
Take a little longer, guys, a little longer. All right, stop for a second. Come on, and you say, come on, let's go, let's sneak up on him. Go on.
We're like on the steps, and Adam chases me off the steps, and then Nikki comes in and chases both of us off the stage.
And Nikki, what are you supposed to be in this?
A barnacle.
What?
A barnacle playing tag.
What's that?
What? I don't get it. It's a guy making mischief.
Say that louder.
A guy making mischief.
Shoo, 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 you little barnacles. Ah, you're afraid of him. Run anywhere, shoo. All right, something like that. Okay, these guys are working hard here.
There were two casts, and one of the Peter Grimes was a man named William Horn, who had a tenor, who had a very good voice, very strong voice. But he was from New York, Brooklyn, I think. And he had this indelible Brooklyn accent that would pop up every so often while he was singing. And he had, there were two lines especially that come to mind. One was, out of the hurly-burly, and he sang it, out of the hoily-boily. And the other was, a flashing turmoil of a shoal of herring, he'd sing. And Britten would go up the wall. He'd say, what kind of accent is this? What is this man singing?
I do remember with enormous delight when he was very unhappy with the chorus about home, do you call that home? And he said, now everybody, you're not doing it right. You've got to say, home. Do you call that home? And so the whole chorus went, home. Do you call that home? I don't think
remember that. Well, we're the nieces. We live at the Boar with Auntie.
We're the main attractions.
The main attractions.
As it says.
I'm not really sure what that means either. I mean, I'm not sure we're whores. Are we?
I think we're prostitutes.
Yeah, I guess.
So today, I want to do the Nieces Quartet with you four. Right at 42, please. Good.
I had an amusing experience. They sent it to me to my home and said, I'm to sing the second niece.
And when I arrived for my first rehearsal, I said, "This music is impossible to sing." I made a big hit, I'm sure.
And of course, I mentioned to Millie last night when we saw each other, if she remembered what an awful time I had singing Sleep on that D way up there. And that's the biggest challenge for niece number one.
But I have to tell you, you did it magnificently,
Thank
Phyllis.
you.
It was really wonderful.
Thank you, Shari, for singing a D flat.
This is a place where we occasionally came to rehearse the chorus. Of course, we recognize quite a few of the people in this photograph.
More of the women than the men for some reason.
Hey. And I was a married man at the time.
So was I.
Yeah. Of course, it was interesting that all the woods around here resounded with French
Voices.
horn for music and all the various instruments. It was something of a madhouse, actually.
Okay, a couple quick things. I would accelerate a little bit into this last carrot top accent. So I'd go. Okay. And that really brings out that last note. So why don't you both try that? Try it from the beginning. Very nice.
See what one of the scenes of the chorus was.
Oh, yeah. Well, this was the denouement when we were out for Peter Grimes' Blood. And I mean, when this publication came out, I was waiting at the newsstand for it to be delivered. And I kept riffling through the pages and I couldn't find myself. I thought, oh boy. Mr. Nowhere, you know. And then suddenly I realized that this huge figure on the first page of the spread was me. I was simply dumbfounded.
At the beginning of Act 3, Mrs. Sedley gets everybody all riled up to go after Peter Grimes because she's determined that the boy is dead and that Peter is responsible. So all of the men in the community and all of the women in the community join forces and they decide to go out on a blood-curdling mad manhunt for Peter Grimes as they scream into the night, Peter Grimes, Grimes, Grimes.
Grimes, Peter Grimes, Peter Grimes, Grimes, Peter Grimes.
Suddenly we see Peter. He's hallucinating. He's talking to the dead apprentice. He basically collapses in his delirium and is met on the beach by Ellen and Balstrud, who want to take him to help him.
Come on. I'll help you with the boat.
No.
Sail out till you lose sight of land. Then sink the boat. Do you hear? Sink her! Goodbye, Peter.
It was a great managerial mistake. It was a misjudgment, a miscalculation of the public interest, musical interest, in this performance. It was a major event.
It was chaotic. There'd been no system in place for distributing the tickets, and we had lots and lots of very angry people outside because they didn't get tickets. This is the box office in a more peaceful time. I am there. This is 1946. There's Kusevitsky. I think this was taken at the beginning of the summer before the Peter Grimes frenzy had started. And I understand the tickets are still falling far short of the demand. So Peter Grimes is a tremendous attraction, 50 years ago and now.
I study so much history, and Kusevitsky, Leonard Bernstein, all this come to my mind. So for me, very rich few weeks, many days, but also heavy responsibility that I understand. And I'm sure going to be wonderful. And I'm sure this is going to be one of the most important days in my life.
Half an hour, please, ladies and gentlemen. Half an hour. Thank you.
I'm a little scared. I just want them all to do well. I think that's really the important thing. You know, some of them are really nervous.
That's very nice. All right, sir. Thank you very much.
We're worrying about the wind, whether the wind is going to blow the curtains upstage too far and they'll get caught on the, I'm at the Moot Hall set, I mean, as they fly in, or get caught on Peter's cottage, but oh well.
Worrying about, is it going to rain? And if it does rain, could it please rain in Act 1, Scene 2 and not any time anywhere else?
We're happy. Everything's gone well in all the dress rehearsals, so it's good. Wardrobe says everything's good, everybody's here. Makeup tells me everybody's made up. I have an ASM missing at the moment, but we'll be fine.
despises us will destroy. Who despises us will destroy. Who despises us will destroy. Who despises us will destroy. Despises us will destroy.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Well done, Chris. Good stuff.
Did you hear that noise? It
Yeah.
had nothing to do with G-string either. No fluorescent paint.
Darling, it was great.
Did you see Darling?
Everything came out, huh?
Almost.
Take care of yourself.
Ah,
Thank you.
wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
You got Grimes.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Felt good, huh?
Yes.
Wonderful. Bravo, bravo, bravo. Ah, wonderful.
So,
Thank you
it's
very
a
much.
Great experience. Great experience.
Thank you. That's sad ending.
It's sad.
Eh?
But, but it's sad that we. It's not sad that it was such a fabulous performance. It was just the best.
Stick with me for a little bit. Oh, you're precious. Great.
I can finally shave.
Ah, look at that. Shave your whiskers.
Yes, of course, I remember that very well. Old Joe was going fishing, old Joe was going fishing. And I got him something or other.